Alright, for do now number 2 that we did in class, that you will see something like this on the test. It also says that we have to graph this inequality by hand. Okay, so I see this, and I said if I want to do it by hand, then I have to have it in slope-intercept form, and in other words, y equals mx plus b. So I need to solve for y. I draw my line down the middle. On the side of y, I only have the minus 1, but I cannot move it over to be done because when I look at this other side, it's not simplified. So that's going to be my first step before I do anything to this other side. I'm going to simplify the right side before I move on. So I still have y minus 1, the same symbol, and I'm going to distribute the negative 3. Negative 3 times positive 2 gives me negative 6. Now that it's simplified all the way, now I can deal with solving for y. And just to have y alone, all I have to do is get rid of that minus 1. So I do the inverse operation. Notice how I line it up here because it doesn't have an x, so I cannot mix it with the x's. And there is my equation. Okay, so now I'm going to do this would be my y-intercept. So I'm going to look at my y-axis, and I'm going to look for negative 5 over here. Here's negative 5. That's my y-intercept. And now my slope is negative 3. So I have my rise, but remember I need my run. So whenever it's a whole number, I just put a 1 here. And that means I'm going to go down into the right. Okay? So I'm going to go down 3 into the right 1. Okay? And you cannot do any more. Remember how I told you in the last one, you can reverse it. So you can also reverse by doing positive 3, so going up 3 and going to do to the left 1. Okay? So all the time that you graph these points, you can also reverse the action. So up 3 and to the left 1 would give me that line as well. Okay? Now that I have my dots for this inequality, I go back and check the sign. The sign has a line underneath, so I know it's going to be solid. And then I know this is less than. Y is less than all of this. So less than means under. So I'm going to shade under when I'm done. Okay, so I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm going to make a solid line. And I'm going to shade under that line. So if this were a shelf, remember, this would be a book. That would be a book on top of that shelf. This would be a book under the shelf. So that means I'm going to shade underneath. Okay, so now I'm going to take my highlighter and shade under this. And that is my solution.